Hi, Radical Transformation family. Oh my gosh, I'm just seeing what I look like. You guys, I'm having a really bad allergy day. So I haven't been crying, I'm just allergic. So just don't mind me. I wanted to come on here and talk to you guys really quick about intuitive self-care. I've been thinking a lot about intuition. I just did a workshop last week in Radical Transformation Academy. If you're in there, it's already live, you can go watch it. Sorry, but ever since I did that workshop, this has been coming up for me a lot, and I've just been thinking about it a lot, and I wanted to share it with you guys. And I think the tricky thing about self-care is that the things that you need are not always the things that you feel like doing. And I see a lot of stuff on the internet, kind of like self-care is a bubble bath, self-care is painting your nails, self-care, is doing all these little tasks. And it's so important to take time for yourself. I'm not knocking that. But self-care can also look like things you don't want to freaking do, right? Like eating a salad when everyone else is eating pizza, going and working out when you want to lay on the couch, right? A lot of times it's self-care is making yourself do things that you don't want to do. And so it can be hard, especially for me, to know when I need rest and when I need to push through. I wrote an email about this. It's going to go out later tonight. If you guys are on the email list, you'll get it. But this is something that I've been struggling with. If you guys follow my email and stuff, last week I was struggling a lot with like binge eating and just unhealthy coping, and I was pushing myself too hard. But it can be hard for me because a lot of times I need to push through in order to keep myself from being depressed. In order to keep my mental health going strong, I need to be going to the gym. I need to be active. When I feel like, when my brain is telling me I need to rest, a lot of times that's depression and that's like unmotivation, and pushing through that will make me feel better, right? That's the thing, is like, this is how I kind of separate it. If pushing through will give me more energy and make me feel better, that's what I need to do. If resting is going to make me feel better and give me more energy, that's what I need to do. For me personally, resting usually makes me feel worse. And I'm not saying that for everyone. I'm not telling you what to do, like by any means. I'm just sharing my experiences, right? So a lot of times when I don't feel like doing anything and I'm like, oh, I'm going to rest, and I just lay around and I spend the evening laying around, or I eat junk food or do whatever, it makes me feel worse. It takes my energy. So one of the ways I am doing intuitive self-care is I check in with myself and I'm like, what will give me more energy? What can I do right now so future Faith, either later today or tomorrow or the end of next week, has more energy? What is going to give me energy? What is going to make me physically and mentally feel better in the long run? Maybe not right now, because God knows, like right now, all I want to do is eat a bag of cookies, right? Which I did last week, trust me. But that's long term. It's going to make me feel better in the moment, but it's not going to make future Faith feel better. So I'm always thinking about, what does future Faith need me to do right now? And then I'll also tap in, I'll ask myself, what's going to give me more energy in the future? And then I'll ask myself, what does my soul need more of? What does my soul need more of? What am I craving, right? And then what does my soul need less of? What do I need to start eliminating? So what I'm realizing too is a lot of things with self-care for me is like cutting things out that are toxic behaviors that don't need to be there, that are not serving me, right? It's eliminating the things that take my energy and then adding things that give me energy, right? For me, like walking the dog every day and listening to the podcast and like saying prayers and like journaling every day, meditating, those practices I do every day, they give me energy. My soul craves them. If I'm like, what does my soul need more of? It's almost always those things, right? And then the things I need less of are like less junk food, less laying around, less like whatever, right? And it's safe for you to trust yourself. Just ask yourself, like, what do I need? What does my soul need? What am I craving? What do I need more of? What does my soul need less of, right? And ask yourself those questions and see what comes up. And if you're not used to checking in with yourself, it can be helpful to sit down with a journal and just ask yourself, and ask yourself, what is going to give me energy in the future? Is resting going to give me more energy? And there's time, like today I don't feel very well. I actually do think I need to rest today because I had a big weekend. I'm having like this allergy thing. So it's like today I'm going to rest. And I do think later that will give me more energy and I will feel better, right? But there's a lot of times where resting makes me feel worse, makes me feel crappy. Does that make sense? It takes my energy away. So what's going to give you more energy in the future, right? A lot of times self-care is stuff you don't want to do right now, but it's stuff your future self needs you to do, right? The stuff we don't want to do. Like I almost never want to go to the gym, like ever. Like I don't think I've ever once wanted to go to the gym. I don't like working out. I try to like it, but I just don't. Going, I just never want to go, but I'm always glad I went, right? So that's something I do for my future self. It's not something I do for self-care because it's so fun and nice and good. It's something I do for self-care for my future self because I know it's going to give me more energy. It's going to help me live the life I want, and it's going to help me show up in the world as the person I want to be. And so you have to be able to do self-care things that are not fun, right? There's a lot of stuff like bubble baths and painting your nails, all that stuff, right? Like I said, it's like that stuff is good, but it's not always the answer. And if you guys are struggling with mental health, I'm sure like sometimes it requires doing things that are hard, that are uncomfortable, right? Going to therapy, talking about things we don't want to talk about, working through things that we don't necessarily want to work through, right? That are hard, that are difficult. But in the future, working through that stuff is going to make you feel better. Does that make sense? So that's how I see self-care, and that's how I feel, and that's how I kind of view intuitive self-care. But I think it's also important to realize you're the expert in your life, and it's safe for you to trust yourself and check in with yourself and say, what do I need? Like, what do I want? A lot of times we don't check in with ourselves. We're just running around, right? We're just running around doing the thing. And it's like, stop and ask yourself, what is my soul craving right now? Like, what do I need? What do I need to do for my future self right now? What can I do to help myself feel better? What can I do to improve my life? And checking in kind of with yourself and giving yourself that time to reflect and check in and be self-aware. Does that make sense? So that's how I kind of see intuition as just this opportunity to be more self-aware and step into your most self-aware self. Maybe I'll make your most self-aware self. That's a weird sentence. Okay. Maybe I'll make a podcast about this. Like I said, I do have a whole training about it in the academy. If you're in the Radical Transformation Academy, you can go watch it. It's up already. I have a training in there and a workbook for this month. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to do a live tomorrow about my full moon practices. I actually set intentions and goals for the month based around the full moon. So I have some kind of ritual stuff I want to share with you guys, and just what I do in case any of you guys want to start doing that, because it's one of my favorite kind of times of the month. Really, I just love it. I think it's such a nice, it's one of my favorite self-care things that I do, and I want to share it with you guys. So I'll share that with you guys tomorrow. Hey Joy, how are you? And I will send an email tomorrow too that has the full moon ritual stuff in it. So you'll get that if you're on the email list. And I hope you guys have a good day. I'm gonna go get some rest. I hope you guys take excellent care of yourself, and I'll talk to you soon.